All right. So here's to accountability, and here's to 2025. There's a new microphone. I'm going to hold it down here so you can still see my mouth move. Hold on. I can never get comfy in here. Get this and get that and put that there. This is 2025 in review. Looking back on all things I did and posted to YouTube at the very least. I definitely did more than this, but looking back on YouTube, like what did I put out there? Here goes nothing. Freaking so long. It's gonna be so long. Okay. January 2025. I started the year in a rut and I was ready to get out of it. I made YouTube videos about things that nobody cared about, like the weather that day or how many steps I took that day. But then I started scripting and filming. First YouTube project, my first major YouTube project, I drew for 365 days straight. I knew I was going to get out of this. I already had July in my sights going to France. I'm going to fast forward a little bit. July is just the word July, France. I did France. Okay, that was 2025 in a nutshell then. February, I did 2 polar plunges and I fully filmed them and I edited them into also great YouTube videos that you can go and watch right spanking now. I don't know what that means. And I started my everyday challenge the day after the Super Bowl, which I am still doing right now as of today. Go Patriots. You're going to make it to the Super Bowl. I can tell. You just spanked the Jets. Sorry, Jets fans, but it's true. Patriots are back. Okay. I also got a new camera and a new tripod for that camera in February. March 2025. My job started construction on their new parking lot. So I had to park far away and drive a shuttle and bring people in the back of that shuttle every day to my job site. That was fun. I did that every single day for so long. I also bought a fog machine to finish my new YouTube video, making a drawing for 365 days straight, trying to make things look more cinematic. I bought that fog machine in March. Also, my Patreon had hit 12 members by then. A couple of them free. Right now, I think I have 15 members. But shout out to all y'all. You guys get early access to everything. If you're not a member yet, please consider it. April flew by, but I really started to focus in on France. I started to practice a little bit more French slang. We started to meet with a travel advisor. I did a quick bingo loco trip, which is just bingo crazy. And it was in Boston. I did that with my friend. And also, I kept on driving early, doing driving duty in the mornings. That was April. And go and watch these videos. They're all still up. I did more than just that, but that's part of it. May, I had my last day at my after school program after doing that for 11 years. May, I called it quits. It was pretty early in May, but I was still meeting with my travel advisor. We're getting closer and closer to July 2025, my big month-long trip. And the weather's getting better, whoop-de-doo. Nobody cares, Mike. But again, I was still just editing that video still. I hadn't quite put it out yet. When did I put that out? Let me check. May, yeah. Yep, May 24th, I put out I Drew Every Day for a Year. 10 lessons on how to be more creative through drawing. That's essentially what that is. That was May, January, February, March, April, May. And in May, I was still hanging out with new friends I had made through my work and my job, which I love. I love my job still. For the record, shout out y'all. LifeWorks, good stuff. June, it was my birthday. I officially turned 35, even though I felt like I was 35. It's not that big of a deal. 34 to 35, it's like the exact same thing. Still waiting on the big 40 to come. That's going to be great. So let's make the most of the rest of this age of 35. Let's make the most of it. Of course, winter's coming. That's going to be great. But let's see, 35. I went to Khruangbin with my dad, which is my favorite rock band right now, at Suffolk Downs. And June 2025, we closed the pool that I had gone to since I was a young child. I had learned how to swim at that pool. It was our vacation house, but we never called it that because we went there so often and we took care of it so deeply. And like, besides the pool, my grandparents lived there, but recently my mother passed and the house got sold in June. So rest in peace to Club Loopy, to all the founding members of it, and just all the memories that we shared there and everything. That was just devastating. And before you know it, I'm in July. So what I do want to say about July is that I am so, like, looking back on it, I'm so happy I did 4 days in Paris. Like, that's a lot of days, and I did a lot of stuff. Each one of those days was filled to the brim with walking. I walked, like, honestly, like at least 20,000 steps each one of those days. And I mean, the last day, technically, like the fifth day, was traveling and doing this road trip through the French countryside with my parents. So that was really special. But just in general, got to see the Eiffel Tower. I got to go to Notre Dame. I got to go on the River Seine and do a boat little trip. I got to eat in multiple places. I got to go to the Arc de Triomphe. I got to go to a bunch of shopping areas. The Louvre, did I say the Louvre? I got to see the Olympic blimp. I got to see the gardens in Luxembourg, I'm pretty sure. Musée d'Orsay, another museum that's popular. And just, again, looking back on it, because it happened so quickly, and it's like there's so amazing things that you're shown and you're experiencing that are just like, there's so many like things that could be the ninth, 10th, 11th, 12th wonder of the world that are all right next to each other in Paris. Like the architecture, all the statues, the neoclassical things. Um, I went to Col de Sif, which is part of the residency. That was like a thing, but oh, Sacré-Cœur. I went to Sacré-Cœur at night. And some real places to eat. I went to Moulin Rouge. Like we went to that little district. Oh man. And other things I can't pronounce. Oh my God. Where else did I go? Okay, so that was Paris, right? I did all that in Paris. Even the air, like both times, like coming and leaving Paris, the actual airport itself is quite a sight to be seen, and just like the surrounding areas of that, like the highways, all the graffiti everywhere. Um, on my ride, okay, we'll make this quick. So then I did the residency. The residency was like trip of a lifetime. Didn't have to worry about speaking French there, right? Like the people that really ran the program spoke English, and the food was amazing. I cannot say that enough. Like it wasn't gross, it wasn't foreign, it was foreign, but it wasn't like small portions or something. Like it was buffet style, tons of food, good stuff, good pastries. In the morning there was good stuff. Like the food was great. They had cool they had a cat, they had a house cat. Everything was gold. It was never really that hot, even in July. They had a cold plunge style reservoir that you could swim in with a dock that you could hang out at. They had goats. They had just like the actual area in front of the chateau was the perfect little walking circle. It was so scenic. Every you took was like, I could paint this, I could paint that, and private and scenic. And then the lake in the middle, there was an island in the middle of the walking circle. There was benches you could sit at. There was a swing you could swing at. There was the far stables that you could hang out with friends at. You could ride your bike there. You could go even further into the town. You could go hiking. You could draw anything you wanted in the town itself. You could go to the chapel, you could go to the art store, you could go to your friends' houses that were in the town. Everyone was super talented, so friendly. The dinners went on and on and on. You could go to the wine cave. Like, guys, like this video that's coming up, I'm gonna share all of what I just said with more intricacy. July was like summer camp in 3 weeks for just artists. It was crazy. Moving on. August. I was back in America. I jumped right back into all of my favorite things. Patriots are back. I didn't even know it at the time in August, but I saw them spank the at home during Tom Brady's statue unveiling in August, I also got to see my favorite performing artist alive right now, Chris Brown, at Fenway Park. And I got to go to a country music concert with, I think his name's Lee Brice, with a friend. It was hot as hell, and we went to Indian Ranch. Um, and I just was like, I was ready to be back home. As much as I loved France and I can speak so highly about it, like I went there to work and I got a lot of work done. I did stuff that usually takes me 3 months. I did that in 3 weeks. Um, so I learned new methods of creation in July. But when I was back home, I was like, let's like July, like I want to get out and do stuff. So I kind of splurged on that Chris Brown thing and the Lee Brice concert and the Gillette Stadium little trip, like all that stuff. I was like, give me burgers, give me hot dogs, give me pizza, give me American pizza, give me beers and everything. Like, we're back, baby. September. Again, I just wanted to get out there while the weather was still good. I did my first official 5K in Westwood with really no training, really. The only training I got was like my job itself requires a lot of movement and walking anyways. Like I probably walk 3 miles a day at my job anyways, just like going from here to there and just all the stuff I have to do. So the 5K itself it wasn't that bad. And I drove to Beckett, Massachusetts actually to pick up my art from an art show that I had done out there. So that was a scenic little trip. And I went to Storyland in September with my niece. That was a blast from the past. Storyland is dope if you've never been to New Hampshire, yeah. And then in October, I did my second 5K, Michael's Miracle Run, with my friend, You Know Who You Are. Shout out to you. That was something I've been waiting all year to do. And I did the Westwood 5K in September to prepare for that, really. That was like, if I didn't do the Westwood one, I wouldn't have done so good at the Michael's Miracle Run. I finally got to premiere my Daft Punk helmet. I got to also premiere my airplane costume at work for Halloween. That was fun. I went to the New England Creative Communities photography party and I got to debut that Daft Punk helmet. I did a solo trip Halloween night to a Thundercat concert. And I did Pancakes and Booze, which was an art show that sold pancakes and booze. And I met a lot of young artists, and I felt like I knew how to kind of move through the show in a way that like a veteran would. And all these youngsters were kind of like, oh, this guy's cool. And I knew what questions to ask other artists. And shout out to you if I met you there, because like I just like had a time, and I was happy I was be part of the show. October. November's big takeaway was technically Justice and Kaytranada. So Justice is from France. It's a duo. It's like if Daft Punk is here, then Justice is just below them, if not even with them. It's a electronic house kind of dance music band, Justice, and Kaytranada open for them. But I would say Kaytranada is like just as iconic. He's just a little newer, but again, just good dance music, playing loud bass music in New York City at Barclays. I went there by myself and had a time of my life. But low key, the other thing that happened in November was the photo shoot for the thing that happened in the photo shoot for the magazine, which would come out in December 2025. So here we are, December 2025. Everyone got word out that I did the Westwood Living magazine cover. I was a cover artist for Westwood Living magazine. And I can now say I really completed my first full year in my job. Like I started my job 617, June 17th in 2024. So that's half a year. But like I officially went from January to December, right? So that was cool. I got this new microphone for Christmas. So thank you, Santa. And surprise everyone, I think my biggest accomplishment is I can finally say that I will be able to pay off my student loans fully by the end of this year. It's December 28th right now, but that has been, I graduated college in 2013, so it's been 12 years in the making? Yeah. So again, thank you to the people who work at who gave me my new job and able to finally kill these loans, which is like a big accomplishment. So thank you for that. That's very exciting. To sum all this up, 2025 in review, what have I learned about myself and what can you learn from my yearly review? I'm a creative who likes to experiment with video and music production and explore stories and storytelling. I think that the world is diverse and fascinating, and I want to travel more, but I have a collection of collage art which is called the Collaged On. And in my free time, I like to draw and write. I'm athletic, I'm close with my family, and I love to learn. Looking forward, I want to take some tips for making better videos from my favorite creators like Yes Theory, 1000, Gox Art, Johnny Harris, and Casey Neistat. I want to learn piano next year. I want to learn Haitian Creole, how to speak it, and just the history of it. I want to learn Russian and French and Spanish and different languages. But I also want to dance. I want to write and publish my first children's book. And I really want to run the Boston Marathon or like get in that discussion. Like, how will I do that one day? I want to do that. I really do in my heart of hearts. I'm only getting older. I'm going to keep seeing what I'm capable of, and I will bring you along for the journey. Thank you very much. Cheers to all the souvenirs. Cheers to 2025. Here comes 2026 before you know it. So, in the meantime, keep on rocking in the free world and rip in peace.